What you are witnessing is an interview that E3B2's Life performed with me, Random Vandom, about YouTube and what it's like to be a just starting out YouTuber. This interview took place in an abandoned bus in North Lucky Mute State Park in Independence, Oregon. It was interesting to be interviewed like this. It's something that I had not had the opportunity to do yet, and I thank E3B2's Life for giving me that opportunity. When we first made this recording, the numbers were a little bit earlier, so as this recording goes by, you'll see that I actually post how the numbers are now, which is actually about 2 months later from when we actually first made the recording. Life gets busy sometimes, and when you make a video, then you can't get it up right away. And that's kind of what we are dealing with here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let you watch this interview. And I hope there's a lot of valuable information here for you.
We are here with Joe from the creator known as I Live to Explore Oregon and Random Vandom. I Live to Explore Oregon joined January 31st, 2021 with a sub count of 538, hitting a lifetime views of 139,000, almost 140K, with his top video being 8.9K. Random Vandom joined December 19th, 2011 with a total of 330K for his lifetime views, with a subscriber count at 530. At the top being almost at 100K at this moment. So my first question is, what would 1K represent to you?
Well, getting 1,000 subscribers to me would represent to me, like the entry level of success in YouTube. One of my goals since I started YouTube, even though if you kind of look at my Random Vandom channel from 12 years ago, you'll see that I made like 4 videos 12 years ago, and then I waited like 3 more years to put up another video. Go figure. That's sometimes how some YouTube start. But if you look at what I do lately, I'm putting up like 50 videos a month on just one channel. I definitely have that goal of first YouTube check in my hand. The truth is I would do this whether I got paid for it or not. It's just something I like doing that much. So I'll do this. I'll be making YouTube videos whether people are watching them or not, and whether I'm getting paid for them or not. But what it comes down to is, that is the ultimate goal. And that is what, really releases the dopamine inside me and really makes me feel like, hey, this is great, So that's 1K will mean that I have, I've made it to that level, and then I just want to keep on going.
All right, question 2. What does your 1-year plan look like?
There is something that is kind of in me that, I have some, it may not appear open. I guess I hide it really well and I adapt really well. But the truth is that, I have some pretty serious ADHD. I have a hard time setting goals. And to me, when I set a goal, it doesn't mean a thing to me. I have to set goals like tomorrow, even for that, it's just like, it's tough. So I just do the best I can every day, and hope for the best. So for me to set a goal like 1 year, I could set a goal and say, I want to be at, because I'm at 500 subs right now. And I could say like in a year, I want to be at 1,000, which actually I think I'll be there before that. I'm just not really a very good goal setter and goal getter. I try to do my best every day.
When did you first start creating videos?
You did really good research. I really respect that. I have 11 YouTube channels.
Well, of course, I've had other ones in the past.
So my other YouTube channel, which is actually now called Dragon's Dystopia, used to be called Carvalence. My parents had one of those old camcorders, probably 1980 something.
All right, who has been your biggest inspiration on this journey for YouTube?
My biggest inspirations are creators. There's no doubt about that. It's probably not a YouTuber, and this is going to be weird, but I've always been a creator at heart. And I think that my biggest inspiration as far as creating something is Stephen King.
Okay.
I've read his book, The Craft. I wanted to be a writer for a long time, but with the way my ADHD, and I have written a few things, but with the way my ADHD works, it's hard for me to focus on something for long enough to get an actual book out. But I do have some longer videos out there. If you were to trudge through some of and see, like, I've got one video that's 48 minutes long. I Love to Explore Oregon. I want to create a movie that, and they say, I watched that movie and it changed my life. I've got some other inspiration. Joe Rogan. I was Anthony Robbins.
Do you think 5K subs is going to be as big of a deal as 1K?
To be honest, I don't think 1K for me is going to be that big of a deal. It's just kind of that first notch over. You know, of course 5K and 10K. You know, 10,000 will probably be one that I feel like, oh, maybe I've made it now, and maybe I'm getting somewhere.
Since you said you were really bad at planning, I'm still going to ask though, do you have a 5-year goal?
No, definitely do not have a 5-year goal.
No.
Can't even picture 5 years in my head.
All right. Nope. All right. So this one, I feel like this would be a big deal. This is kind of like on my bucket list, but what would 1 million views mean to you?
I have like 11 YouTube channels, and I do have a YouTube channel called Mac Volkswagen TV. It's pretty much at 500,000 views right now. I was working with a Volkswagen store. They've since switched ownership, so I'm not really doing anything with that channel anymore. So I think that one will hit 1 million views in not that long, but it will feel different since I'm not on that channel anymore. I think when my I Love to Explore Oregon hits 1 million views, again, I'll feel like I've done it. You know, I've become successful, and that one's only, you know, in the neighborhood of 100,000. So it's still a little ways away, but hopefully it'll come soon. Yeah.
I never know what's going to hit.
Exactly.
All right. So at least with the I Love to Explore Oregon and the Random Phantom, how did you come up with those names?
You first originally named I Love to Explore Oregon just Explore Oregon. Right. And I just started with that name, and then I realized there's actually something else out there by that name. Right. I changed the name to I Love to Explore Oregon, and since then I've actually done a couple of videos in Washington, so I'm thinking that I may soon change the video to I Love to Explore Oregon and beyond. Random Phantom used to actually be called Donovan Cross. So when I was in high school one day, I created an alter ego for myself, and that was Donovan Cross. If you go back on Random Phantom and you watch some of my older videos, you'll see me call myself Donovan Cross. Later on, when I got a van and I made my van into a camper, I changed it to Random Phantom.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and like you hear about those like past YouTubers that kind of were the people that had different alter egos, maybe, or something, like, or completely different than
Donovan
at school.
Cross
It's like, so
yeah, it's totally an alter ego for me. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I was gonna ask the 10-year plan, because it's like if you look at Mr. Beast, it's like you got him from like way back in the day to his 10 years, like what he is now.
I hope I'm alive in 10 years. that's all I got for these plan thingies.
And we did already talk about the 10K being, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, just all of those milestones are just a point where I feel like I've made it, you know?
All right. With your top videos being almost 9K on I Love to Explore Oregon and almost 100K on Random Phantom, how did that feel? Or as you're watching, were you watching your little clicker go up?
When I drop a video, I do watch for it. And having videos, the weird videos, I mean, like, the thing that boggles my mind about YouTube is what videos actually really do well. You know, and the first time, like, when I made the video called Red Light Camera Nightmare, and I dropped that video, and I could literally actually watch the numbers going up as I dropped, you know, and it's a short, and it got like 9,000 views in one night, like in 24 hours, or 8 hours, really. It got like 9,000 views. Now I was seeing it, I'm going, I thought something was really weird, you know. I mean, it just felt, it felt good, but I was also scared because I dropped a video that, like, for me, it was just not me. It was like a really random video, which I do on Random Phantom, totally random videos. Some of my Volkswagen videos that I made for the Volkswagen, I saw them go very quickly. Also, I have one video on the Volkswagen channel that has 150,000 views for just that one video, and it made me feel really good because I tried very hard on those videos, and those were some of the videos I actually got paid for by the Volkswagen store. So I was like, you know, it felt very good that I actually accomplished something and made something that people like to watch. If it's a video, on a lot of the videos I put on Random Phantom, it's just practice. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall, and so when something sticks on the Random Phantom channel, it's a little scary because I'm not putting my best stuff out there, and I'm kind of scared that people are really going to think it's weird, because a lot of it is weird. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I mean, at least I know that worked. It's Random Phantom is just really my random channel, and I will try anything on that channel. You know, almost anything, I guess. You know.
I don't know, I'm like just sitting there, I'm like, sometimes you'll see those ones start going to 2, and you're like, oh, is this it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird because on YouTube, they just drop off. Like, you know, I made that Red Light Camera Nightmare channel, you know, like 6 months ago, and it hit 9,000 views on that one night. And since then, I don't think it's, you know, it's like, it might have gotten, you know, 20 or 30 views a day, but nothing spectacular after that, you know.
All right, so what has been your proudest moments, and what has been your biggest hurdles?
So my proudest moments definitely was working on the Volkswagen channel. I was getting paid for those, and a lot of those videos were very successful. There's many videos on that channel that have, you know, 40,000 views, you know, 20,000 views, and 100,000 views. There's a couple of videos that actually have 100,000 views on there. So those are my proudest moments. I mean, the weird one where I did the one about the microwave, how to shut off the beep on your Frigidaire microwave on my Random Random channel. That one's almost got 100,000 views on its own too. You know, for me, that was also kind of a proud moment because I liked that video. I put the planet in the microwave. It was a COVID times back then too, you know, so those were interesting times for all of us, of course, you know, crazy times, horrible times sometimes, you know. But, you know, yeah, definitely having videos. I think a lot of the Volkswagen, and then the hurdle is like, yeah, the Volkswagen store is not under the same ownership, so that was kind of different for me. And some of my biggest hurdles are just like, you know, working through the like establishing a channel, you know, getting everything right, and like, you know, figuring out the names and stuff like that, and just going through the more technical side of YouTube, especially for my brain that just has a hard time focusing sometimes. That can be harder for me, you know. So that's some of my bigger hurdles. Yeah. And then there's also the hurdles of like when I make a video, actually putting it up. Because there's all these voices in my head that are saying people are going to think this is stupid, they're going to think this is horrible, or, you know, that type of stuff. And sometimes I just have to tell those voices to shut up, and I have to just throw up a video, even though it's bad. And that's what my Random Random channel is like me feeling comfortable about putting horrible videos up. Just to get past those voices.
Well, I just had that random one yesterday. I'm like, at first it's like, you know, you get kind of that point where you're like gonna get defensive, and then you're like, you know what, just bring them all on. That means the videos do better, you know, give all the hate.
And the thing about hate, if you have people actually comment on your videos, it doesn't matter what the comment is. It helps you out.
Yeah.
You know, that's how YouTube works. So that's great.
All right. Can you even fathom 100,000 subscribers?
Right now, it's really hard for me to imagine. I mean, I have to keep on telling myself that I'll do it sometime. You know, that keeps me going. It's part of that. Eventually, I hit it because, you know, the dream is to stop the day job and do YouTube full time. You know, but I can't do that until YouTube's paying the bills, because the day job pays the bills. Can I fathom that I'm going to have it sometime? Right now, it feels so far out of reach, you know, so.
It only takes that one, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I had to throw Mr. Beast in there. So with Mr. Beast making his huge strides, especially making that $100 million contract with Amazon, do you think that it's more possible now to hit 100 million subscribers one day for you?
Because Mr. Beast did it?
Yeah, just seeing where he's came from, being so, I don't know, his game. If you look at his old videos, I'm like his gaming channel, I'm like, it just kind of.
So like the people that I watch, like the YouTubers that I watch, and I am so random that I don't necessarily watch there's like some YouTubers that I don't watch all the time. You know, but the YouTubers that I watch, Mr. Beast isn't really one of them. He's not really my game. I mean, I respect what he's done, and I see that he is a great YouTuber, but when I go to YouTube, I'm not going to go there for Mr. Beast unless I am just looking for, like, maybe an idea or, you know, trying to see why he's successful. Because he's not entertaining to me. Sorry, folks.
Hey, there has to be one.
So, yeah. So when I go looking for YouTube, I mean, if you look through my feed on Random Fandom, you would see Johnny Harris. I find him pretty interesting. But I also am so random that I don't necessarily go to the same people that often, but he just comes up. A lot of times I also go to I like to listen to stuff more than I like to watch it, primarily because I can listen to something and do it at the same time. So if somebody makes a YouTube video that I can listen to, which Johnny Harris does, if somebody tells a story on YouTube, I might go to those, and weirdly enough, I haven't made very many of those videos myself.
Like
my
200.
son was really into Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, which I'm sure both of those guys have hit 1 million. Like, I knew Jacksepticeye and Markiplier 10 years ago. You know, I kind of already knew that 1 million subs was possible, and then my friend in Eugene hit 1 million subs a couple years ago. So I know it's possible. I know it's a YouTube possibility, and I feel like it is possible for me and for Eric. You know, Eric's already got, you know, probably 1,500 subscribers or something like that on one of your channels.
1280 right now.
So, you know, you're definitely, you know, compared to me, you're rocking it. You know? But you know, so I know it's possible, but it does feel like it's a long ways out there. Mr. Beast hitting it, I don't feel like I feel like, you know, comparing me to Mr. Beast is like comparing me to Brad Pitt. You know, we're a long ways apart. You know, we're not even in the same neighborhood. Hope maybe someday I'll be there. You know, and I'll be honored to be there. But
well, yeah, especially if you don't have like a set plan. Like there's wide open opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I got my last question. Why do you love YouTube or creating in general?
So creating so a lot of YouTube for me is like a journal, you know. I know that since I made a lot of those videos with my son, here's kind of a weird way of looking at life, and this might feel dark. But if you have a child, and when your child is 7, that's a certain fun age, you know. They're still innocent enough, and they're asking those weird questions, you know, why is the sky blue? Those types of things. When that child turns 13, that 7-year-old's dead. You're never going to be able to be with that 7-year-old anymore. And of course, he's not really dead because he's 13 and he's standing in front of you. But he's not going to be like he was when he was 7.
Teenagers.
Exactly. You know, I mean, they're totally different. So if you have those log of videos, then you can go back and watch them. You know, and it's you know you can kind of remember what he was like when he was 7. You know, or whatever. Now my son's 20, so you know, and he's still working on that YouTube channel. You know, and he's doing some TikTok and doing some stuff of his own. It's like life is so short. When I ask you, like, let me just ask you a question, and I might ask you this again when I'm interviewing you. But how many days do you think you have left before you die?
Oh man, I'd like to say I have at least, you know, a good like. I'm 31, almost 32, so I would hope at least 40 more years, and everything after that's bonus.
So how many days do you think there is in 40 years?
Oh, dang. Trying to make me do math this late.
Just take a guess.
365. Not enough.
So I've asked some people like this, and maybe you can ask yourself and throw it down in the comments before I do the math for you. But a lot of people, when you say how many days do you have in your life, from 0 to 80, because that's about the average lifespan is 80 years. People throw out like 200,000, a million. No. 365 times 80 is 29,000. So you got less than 30,000 days to live. So if I gave you 30 grand, how fast would you spend it? What, you'd blow through it in a half a year. That's most of what you know, maybe you'd blow through it in a year. You know what I mean? So if you try to think about life that way, is you got 30,000 days to live.
Right.
Every day is precious.
Well, it was like that one quote. It was like, if I gave you 2 million right now, would you take it? But then tomorrow you can't wake up.
Yeah.
It's like, so wake up every day like you're $2 million.
Live every day like the most important. And so, you know, that's why I'm going back to again. I want to make a video of every day that I can and record it and have it there so I can feel like I, you know, and then when I die, when I'm gone, my loved ones, if they care, if they want to, they'll be able to watch those videos, you know.
Yeah.
You know, my son will be able to watch all those videos, you know, or if, heaven forbid, you know, horribly, that if I did lose my son, then I would have this log of our time together, you know, or at least I would have that. You know, there's since then I've lost some people. I lost a cat, not that you lost a cat, and you made a video of your cat that you lost, and I made a video of my cat that I lost. You know, because we'll never have that time back. That cat's gone, but now at least we can watch those videos. So that's what YouTube's for me. It's like a free place to store all that. You know, so I definitely, you know, that's a huge thing. That's free. I mean, you know, 1980 I didn't have that, you know, but I have that now. So it's a journal. It's a free place to store all that. I can go back and look and see what I did back then. That's what YouTube means to me. But then also at the same time, it means like it's like winning the lottery. You know, it's like playing the lottery. I don't play the lottery because I already know that it's a bad math problem. But I play YouTube because it costs me time, yeah. But I get back all the other stuff that I just mentioned, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll win big. You know, so that's why I play YouTube.
All right, good one.
Okay.
All right, and that was all we had.
All right, well, I think that turned out to be a pretty long video, and we'll see if we can do some editing out of that.